Welcome to TMZ Live. There is something that is going to just blow your socks off. There was a huge confrontation outside a comedy club in LA.
Famous comedy club, the Hollywood Improv.
That's right. And two big comedians got in a fight. And the question is, who attacked who and who's lying?
Right. Well, there's now surveillance video of this fight. This happened in December 2024. But what's really shocking about this video is the person who's throwing the punch, his name is Corey Holcomb, a male comedian, and the person he appears to strike in this video is Cristina Payne, a female comedian.
So we should say, just so you understand this, Cristina had actually gone to the police and alleged that Corey had struck her. Corey not only denied it, that police report went nowhere. Corey actually goes to court, files a restraining order against Christine, saying she's the one who actually hit him. So there's no video for like a year.
No video. Now, it happened in front of the Improv, so we suspected there was surveillance video. The Improv had never released it, but late last night, this video showed up on an Instagram account called The Busy Room. Here is the interaction. There's no audio, so that's Corey on the left.
And you see him punch her.
He punches her. Now a bunch of other people jump in.
They take him down.
And defend Cristina and take him down. Now, according to the police report that Cristina filed, when police arrived on the scene, Corey had left already. So this is now the first video we're seeing of what she described and also what he described, though his, as you would imagine, his description is somewhat different. So joining us right now to talk about what happened to her that night is Cristina Payne. Cristina, welcome to TMZ Live.
Thank you.
So Cristina, you went to the police back when this happened, filed a police report. It went nowhere. What are you going to do now that there is a video that seems to support at least the fact that you were punched by Corey?
It's hard even seeing that right now, seeing that playback and having to relive all of this all over again. But it's like almost like what?
I mean, what I'm asking is, are you going to pursue legal action again? The cops felt it was like a stalemate when it happened because they had no video. Now they got video. So I'm wondering, are you over it or are you going to pursue this in court?
I feel like it's...
What's making this so difficult, Cristina, to go forward with it?
I feel like Corey's like threatened or tried to silence me, or like where it's like I've been in fear for my life, literally. Not able to leave the house sometimes, and so I
know you say you're in fear for your life. We mentioned the fact that he got a restraining order against you, and you have one against him as well.
Each other, because he brought the liars to court and confused the judge, and we didn't have the video yet. So we literally got the video the day after court, literally. So I never went back to pursue like, oh, let me get an appeal or nothing like that. Like, my attorney literally kind of gave up after she was getting defamed in her character and everything. You can see on his podcast how horrible he would speak about me and her. And literally it's horrible, like the way he treats women, the way he talks about us, and then to the point where it's like, really, like you're gonna hit me because I'm telling you about God, and like you need to change your ways, and you know, it's just horrible. Like and then I'm just disappointed in how nothing was done, and I went back to the police station like so many times, and the LA fires were the excuse every time, or no detectives. No detectives were ever available, ever, for some reason.
Well, but the video changes things. I mean, you know, when it's just your word against his word, it's a stalemate. Now you have the video, so that's why and if you don't want to answer, I'll respect that and back off. But that's why I'm wondering, are you going to go back to the police now, especially since you have mutual restraining orders? And are you going to say, look at this?
Yeah, who needs the restraining order? I'm the one who's getting punched.
Well, Harvey, what would you advise?
Oh, I don't want to do that. Because you know, I'm not going. I don't know all the facts, and I will tell you this: the one question I really do have is, and I don't think there's any justification for what he did, because all you're doing when we see the video is talking back and forth.
Roasting, and that's what happens in front of the Improv every Monday for the past 30 years. And we stand out there and roast, but everybody knows in the hood, whoever wants to fight or cry first loses. And he literally lost it.
Well, now he said that you went after him first, and it's not seen in the video.
Right. What he actually wrote in his restraining order is that you put hands on him
But
before this video started.
First, so of course he has to like create some crazy story, you know. But basically, at the end of the day, he put his hands on me, and I didn't do anything to him. I didn't, nothing. But also, what that video is not showing is the minutes before that. That video really needs to start from when I walk out there initially, instead of cut right there, because there's a gun involved that he passed off to another female comedian and was like, oh, go put that up for me before he hit me. So literally, I am fighting with my mouth for my life, roasting this dude, but in the name of Jesus, okay? So I literally said, like, leave me alone. Like, you didn't learn from the last time you tried to, you know, say, he said, I'm a super sock this B. That's what he said initially 6 months prior to that hit. So he finally did what he had been saying he was going to do. He threatened me in June of 2024, before this hit happened, in December of 2024. And there's witnesses for that as well. So that's why.
Christina, what started back in June? What started this beef between you? Was it just a roasting that somebody that...
Well, he literally jumped into a conversation I was having with another comedian, and we were having this conversation with that comedian because of what he was doing to another female comedian, making her uncomfortable. So when that guy went off, and, you know, I clown him to silence, but later he's my friend, so I'm like leaving. I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna see you tomorrow, friend, you know, on some like, but he literally was on silence and then stood over by Corey Holcomb, and then Corey Holcomb goes, he ain't gotta say to you, bitch. And he jumps in my conversation with my friend. So that's how that whole thing started that way in like June of 2024. But there's history going back from like 12, 15 years ago on my radio show. So
You had said a few minutes ago that the video, you saw that you got the video just a day after the court hearing for the restraining order.
Yes.
So you have this video. Do you have the longer version where you see somebody brandishing a gun?
Well, that's the thing, is that it was literally sent to my attorney where it's cut right, like, after he were to pass it off or something like that. So it's like they're not showing the whole video, and that's what I'm saying. We need the whole video, like from the front when I walk out there initially, like 12:35 or something, when I had to, and I was waiting for my car to pull up. My car was arriving soon or whatever.
Right.
It's like that was only a matter of like 8 minutes or something like that of time, but they're literally showing right at the 3-minute mark or something like that, and
Right.
not the whole complete video. But
We got it.
after if you look back towards the end, you'll see that that person goes back to go get wherever she hid it from. And you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's
Okay,
It's
well,
just-
Seems like the
we want to
full
see
video,
that full video.
yeah, is going to tell this story.
Thank you so
Christina,
much.
thank you so much
Really
for talking
appreciate
to
it.
us.
Thank
and
you
we're going to
so
be
much.
following this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up.
Well, poor Johnny Depp's just sitting at home somewhere when suddenly his name pops up in the middle
Why'd you drag my name into this?
of the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni mess. More text messages coming out, and
You know what? If only Epstein would come out the way this is coming out, we'd know more.
you know,
It's true.
Be right back.
well, poor Johnny Depp's just sitting at home somewhere when suddenly his name pops up in the middle
Why'd you drag my name into this?
of the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni mess that is ongoing. More text messages coming out, and
You know what? If only Epstein would come out the way this is coming out, we'd know more.
you know,
It's true.
God, we can get everything on this. We get nothing on Epstein.
I know,
but,
nothing.
So this exchange is between Ryan Reynolds and his agent, Warren Zavala. And this exchange is happening in August, right after It Ends With Us has come out. And now the public battle between Justin and Blake is becoming, it's just now becoming public.
But-
people are talking about
But
it.
the movie is doing well.
Movie's doing well. So, Ryan is having this conversation with his agent, Warren Zavala. Ryan says, someone is just going to tell a journalist the real deal, and it's going to blow up in his face, meaning Justin's. Zavala says, one would think, but the truth does become muddled sometimes. That's why I'm concerned if he's laying a trap. I hope this fraud blank weasel is exposed. Poop weasel, we'll say. And Zavala continues, this is all spin. I think we let it burn. And then Ryan says, well, how did that work out for Depp? Zavala says, by the way, not well. It cratered both of them ultimately. Johnny
Actually,
Depp and Amber Heard.
Johnny Depp came back up. I mean, it actually helped him to go after Amber Heard in the United States. But
at that moment, back in August 2024,
When he did it-
Johnny was
No, you're
not getting roles.
But
at all.
here's the way I see this. Zavala, Ryan Reynolds' agent, knows there's another side to this story. He knows there's another side to the story, which is he said.
Yeah, but all he-
No, let me just make my point. That the truth gets muddled. When you say, but the truth gets muddled, you're saying to Ryan, slow your roll. There's stuff on Blake's side too. I think that's the code. He doesn't.
No.
want to-
Oh,
It's
no.
actually the opposite. So
Yep.
Zavala
Right.
is saying, look at this link where where Baldoni is now putting out a narrative that he had a fight over final cut of this movie that is now doing well.
Right.
He's saying we need to get out there and swing back with the truth.
Because he's concerned that Baldoni is muddling the truth. He knows
he's trying to clear the narrative.
Ryan's agent, of course, is on Ryan and Blake's side, right?
Right.
So he's saying, I know what happened here, and I know that Blake is right, but Baldoni's out there now trying to muddle the truth. We got to go after him.
Because we have the truth on our side. And Ryan says, well, if we go out guns blazing like
might
Johnny
end up
Depp,
like
it
Johnny
could blow
Depp
up both
and
of our
Amber
careers.
Heard. And that's why he says, not well, cratered both of them.
I think he knows that there are two sides to this, and if you do go out, you need to go out because there's stuff about Blake
Now-
that is going to be unflattering.
That's not what he's referring
But
to.
I think
and by
so.
the way, Reynolds, this is
The truth gets
here is
muddled.
the last diss from Ryan. He says to his agent, let that human rounding error Baldoni play his little game. This is a giant ass victory. Congrats.
That's the most devastating blow of all, to call someone a rounding
a
error
human
and saying
rounding
you are
error.
insignificant. You're not a
And
bad
Ryan
person,
is-
you're just irrelevant.
So at that point in August, Ryan is saying, just let him spread whatever he wants. We know what the truth is. This will all work out. Now, that was in August. By December, their strategy had changed, right? Because now Blake is gearing up to file this lawsuit, and the New York Times story is coming out.
Yeah.
So they ultimately decided to go the Johnny Depp Amber Heard way
Scorched
of
earth.
we're going to have scorched earth,
Yeah,
big public battle.
What you're forgetting is the duplicity here, that their publicists were both trying to smear the other side all
Yes.
the way through this.
Of course.
So where did the publicists get their marching orders from?
But Ryan-
let me just make, again.
Only from clients.
they
I'm
get
not disagreeing with
I know,
you.
but
I'm not
they
disagreeing
get,
with you.
They get their marching orders from Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and Justin Baldoni. We know that because we were on the receiving end on both sides. So the way I see this is Ryan Reynolds painted himself and Blake painted him as somebody who had no involvement. Lie. Taylor Swift, no involvement. Lie. I mean, when you look behind the scenes at this is more of an expose of how Hollywood works than anything else. I
agree with that.
You are
100%.
acting like that. No, of course it's true.
When you pull the curtain back, it's all the cockroaches were working
totally agree with
overtime.
them, but you're asking for a level of self-awareness that doesn't exist. Do you think that Ryan and Blake are sitting there going like, oh, let's not go out because we've been doing bad stuff too?
I 100%
They don't think that at all.
I agree with you.
My name is Marianne from Michigan, and I just want to know who Ryan Reynolds thinks he even is with this whole situation. Why is he comparing their situation with the Depp case? The Depp case was a totally different case, and it's making me think, like, did they study it? Did they know, like, how the public was going to perceive it? What was going on behind closed doors? Or was Ryan Reynolds really pissed? Did he believe every single word that Blake Lively told him about Baldoni? And did he want to see whose side the public was going to take?
Oh, I think he believed everything she said.
Right.
And I also still believe that the agent, who probably was getting recon from a million other people, knew there were two sides to this.
Something is going on at Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's house.
They're cooking Jiffy Pop again.
You know, would you stop with this analogy of Jiffy Pop for pregnant women?
No.
But yes, the couple, which already, they have 3 kids, certainly sounds like they are about to have more. This is what A$AP Rocky had to say about their family planning.
You done with kids?
Oh, listen, man, whatever God give me, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a blessing. I ain't gonna hold you, though. We got our hands full right now, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, we got
there we go.
Football team right now. I'm about to catch up to Nick Cannon, me.
How many? You got 3, right?
Yeah, I got 3 joints, man.
See, I don't know whether he's...
Wait a second, is he saying that they're gonna have more, or is he just saying our hands are full now?
Now that I listen, I'm not sure which is which. I almost think
he's saying like, I
we got
can't
our
handle
hands
anymore.
full. I agree.
It feels like they have as many as Nick Cannon.
We got pitched this in the morning meeting, and they were all saying that they were having more kids. I'm not hearing that.
Well, okay, maybe not hearing that from A$AP, but last week, this girl on TikTok posted this video, and it said, I'm trying to decide if I want to be sexy or pregnant. Rihanna commented on that and said, wait, so I'm not the only one? Bet. Insinuating she wants to get pregnant again.
Well, she's trying to decide.
Do I have to decide?
Do I want to be sexy or pregnant?
That doesn't mean
but people are saying that she's insinuating she for sure wants to have another
sounds like
kid
she's
this year.
thinking about it.
Maybe she's saying that. But I'm not hearing that.
But Rocky, Rocky is saying
I am not hearing that from
But
Rocky.
if Rihanna wants it, we'll have another one.
Hi, my name is Tasia. I'm from Orange, New Jersey. I would love for A$AP and Rihanna to have more kids. I know she loves being a mom. And 3 kids is not a lot, so they could definitely have some more.
How is 3 kids not a lot?
They both come from families with 5 kids. Rihanna and A$AP.
And 5 is definitely a lot, but so is 3.
Yeah, so is 3. So is 1.
Coming up.
Well, Brooklyn Beckham says the video is not coming out, the wedding video that would show what he says is the ultimate embarrassment of his mother dirty dancing with him during the wedding, and that's what caused the rift. We have a witness, one of the DJs at this wedding. His name is DJ Fat Tony.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
bigorexia was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. Well, Brooklyn Beckham says the video is not coming out, the wedding video that would show what he says is the ultimate embarrassment of his mother dirty dancing with him during the wedding, and that's what caused the rift.
Now, there's a Marvin Gaye song, famous one, called Can I Get a Witness? And we have a... Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, that's good. I didn't know that's what... I thought you were going to go heard it through a grapevine, but no, that works better. Yes, we have a witness, one of the DJs at this wedding. His name is DJ Fat Tony.
Even though he's thin.
I know, even though he's thin. I think it's ironic.
It could have been it could have been pre-Ozempic.
And even though he clearly, I would think, had to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
He talked.
He talked. This morning, he was on This Morning on ITV in the UK. And this is what he saw. This is how it went down.
By the way, totally different from what you think.
He paints a great picture.
There was no slut dropping. There was no There was no black cat PVC cat suits.
There was no
there was no Spice Girl action. Mark Anthony was performing on stage. He then called Brooklyn onto stage. Mark Anthony asks the most beautifulest woman in the room to come to the stage. And then he says, Victoria, come to the stage. And of course, at that point, Brooklyn's like suddenly, literally devastated because he thought he was going to do his first dance with his wife. Then Nicola leaves the room crying her eyes out. Brooklyn's stuck there on stage. And then they do this dance and Mark Anthony's like, go, put your hands on your mother's hips. And it was a Latin, you know, it's a Latin thing. And the whole situation was really awkward for everyone in the room.
It's totally Mark Anthony's fault. There are 3 victims here. Brooklyn, Nicola, and Victoria.
Wrong.
They're the victims.
You are so wrong to say Victoria is a victim.
She's a victim.
I agree with you about Mark Anthony, because Mark Anthony
is the villain.
You're emceeing, you're performing. You cannot, on the woman's
overlook
wedding
the bride.
day, right, say, who's the most beautiful woman in the room, and then call up Victoria.
Okay, wait a minute.
Of course Nicola ran off crying.
Stop. What is Victoria to do when the bride runs in the bathroom crying? Brooklyn is standing there. Everybody, 500 people.
Before the bride runs off, Victoria should say, Mark, we're not doing this now. Brooklyn and Nicola are about to have their first dance.
A split-second thing. She's gone. She's so upset.
It shows that Victoria was not thinking about the bride.
Oh, come on.
Look, in Nicola's situation, I'm going to take a totally different side on this. In Nicola's situation, you can't control what people say. You can only control your reaction. I think Nicola storming out and crying was not it. Her future mother-in-law is Victoria Beckham, arguably one of the most beautiful women on the planet. You pay respect to your soon-to-be mother-in-law. And when Mark Anthony says that, you say, yep, bow down to Vicky B.
Wait a minute. Can I stop you? When you planned your wedding,
I didn't have a wedding.
You didn't have a wedding.
I couldn't deal with that.
Okay, stop. But you know when brides plan weddings, they plan every detail. The first dance is a huge moment for the bride and the groom. So she's thinking, this is our moment. This is our moment
to go down.
Mark Anthony yanks that away without any notice, and of course she's going to be unglued. I mean.
It's just a
shame on you, Mark Anthony.
Yeah,
shame.
Harvey, you're anti-marriages, anti-weddings. Don't you think it's just a dance? Why are we getting so worked up?
I get it, but most brides, when 500 people are there, they're into weddings. And she's standing there thinking, okay, I'm going to dance with my new husband, and all of a sudden I'm humiliated, and my mother-in-law is walking up to dance, and she just loses it.
I mean, but what if your mother-in-law was like Elizabeth Taylor? You pay respect to the most honorable woman in the room.
Elizabeth Taylor had more class. She would not have done that to the bride.
Real quickly,
it's possible.
What was Victoria Beckham supposed to do when the
bride?
No,
yeah,
I
what
think
Charles said could have been. But look, this is happening in the moment.
But she didn't.
And it happened like that.
Yeah, and all of her friends are there. There's 500 guests.
Should
Mark
she say,
Anthony is her friend,
Should she
by
say,
the way.
no, I'm not going to dance with my son?
This is very simple, guys. Victoria Beckham stole the spotlight from the bride and groom. That's it. She could have shown that spotlight, but she chose to stand in it.
Final question. Let's just say Nicola just flew out of there. So there was no way of stopping her. So now all of a sudden, Victoria's standing there. Does she say, no, I'm not going to dance with my son? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I think she
I'm
did.
not gonna, I refuse to dance with my son.
She did what a showgirl does. She goes on with the show.
Regardless of what she should have done. What doesn't make sense to me? When was the wedding?
A year ago or two.
No, it was more than that, wasn't it? When did they get married? It's weird
It's been a while.
that now.
Well, because NDA.
No, it's weird that
because
now
it's been
Brooklyn is
building
making
up. It's building up since then.
Thank God for DJ Skinny.
2022.
Oh, okay.
I'm Amaris from Florida, and I think she just shouldn't have gone on stage. I don't think anybody could have helped that Mark Anthony said what he did, but that's not your day. That is your son and your new daughter-in-law's day. But the vibes were always there. You know, Victoria always gave boy mom, not mom of sons. So, yeah.
And we're
just like stunned.
We're so distracted. What's happening behind you?
What is happening?
You have a. I don't.
Movie collection.
I take it you're a movie fan.
Do you ever get out of the house?
To go to the movie theater.
That makes sense. Oh, is that Disturbia?
Coming up.
I am stunned that this case was filed. There are so many problems with this case. A prosecutor has a legal and ethical duty only to file a case where there is a belief that you can get a conviction beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's not even close in this case.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Timothy Busfield got out on bail, actually released on his own recognizance, didn't have to pay any bail, but he is still being prosecuted for allegedly inappropriately touching two young boys on the set of The Cleaning Lady.
So I have to tell you, I am stunned that this case was filed. There are so many problems with this case. And by the way, understand, I don't know whether he did it or he didn't do it. What I do know is that a prosecutor has a legal and ethical duty only to file a case where there is a belief that you can get a conviction beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's not even close in this case. Mark Garrigus and I just did our Two Angry Men podcast for the week. And I just want to play a little bit of this because he agrees. I mean, to me, this case borders on an unethical prosecution.
If they had just done a Google search, that would have led them to the PACER, the criminal conviction of the father for multiple counts of fraud involving millions of dollars, who had been disbarred on top of it. And they would have seen the litany of fraud complaints against the mother. You had these allegations that a mother was disgruntled because her kid had been what they call recast.
Not just disgruntled, but apparently told people on the set that if her kids got fired, she would have Timothy Busfield's ass.
Let's talk about the no bail. He went from no bail to no bail.
Right. He went from no bail to no bail.
The fact that the polygraph was taken after he knew the accusations were leveled at him, which can affect your performance on a polygraph, and the fact that he passed, I think to me that gives you game over in a jurisdiction where it's admissible.
So you've got a mother who's vowing revenge, a father who's dishonest. You've got kids who have told the cops that nothing happened. 9 months later, after the kids are under the control of those parents, they suddenly change their story. You've got witnesses who say that he was never alone. You've got independent investigations by Warner Brothers. How on earth does the prosecution in good faith file a case against Timothy Busfield? It's outrageous.
So can I ask a question? Are we safe in assuming that the prosecutors have presented all of their evidence at this point?
No.
Right?
But remember, it's an issue of reasonable doubt. Mm-hmm. The mother, they even put in their complaint, the mother said, I'll have his ass if they fire my kids.
Right.
The father is a fraudster. And on and on and on from what we said. Is there reasonable doubt there?
To go to your question, maybe in 6 months they can go forward with the prosecution, Timothy Busfield. We don't know what happened. Right. But at this stage, they put forward this information in their own filings that seem to exonerate him.
You're saying there's enough exculpatory evidence that there's no way that
there's
they
no way,
based
on what we've seen, that they could bring this. And it's a rush to prosecute, because when there's child sex allegations, you look askance at the defendant. But here they just rushed into it. We've seen this twice in New Mexico now. What's happening there?
Twice in New Mexico. And look, no matter what happens, Timothy Busfield's career is ruined. That, we're talking about this now. What people are going to remember in 2 years is he was accused of something on the set. Yeah, accused of something on the set. There'll be a day's headline when either the jury finds him not guilty or they just walk away entirely from the prosecution. And that's not nearly going to make the news that this made, and his career is ruined. So those are the consequences when prosecutors jump the gun. And in this case, look, if you want to listen, Mark and I laid this whole thing out on the Two Angry Men podcast, which drops tomorrow, Saturday, at 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern time, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, Molly Golightly in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And it's very important to know that in this time of the Me Too movement being destroyed left and right for all of these years, with all these fake allegations, as commentators, we have to be careful with who we are saying, all right, he's a rapist, because guess what? That follows these people. And as commentary and all of us TikTokers and YouTubers, we own that for life. And are we going to delete these videos? No, they're going to follow Timothy Busfield for the rest of their life. So in the court of public opinion, he is guilty, unfortunately.
Batman. That would have been an interesting way for Chris Pratt to try and land the
That's
role
what he should have
of
done.
Batman. If
That's what he should have done.
That might have worked. As it is, he took a different approach, which clearly did not work. Now, Chris Pratt and James Gunn, who is now running DC, know each other from Marvel days. James Gunn used to work on the Marvel movies. Now he's over at DC. And Chris Pratt decided he wanted to throw his hat in the ring to be the next Batman. Here's how he attempted to get the role and failed.
Is your jawline and growl good enough for Batman? Do you have Batman in you?
I sent a picture of myself with a Batman mask on.
It's a little aggressive,
to
Chris.
James. And
anything else, or were you just wearing the mask? It was
actually, I did it in Photoshop. And he just said, haha.
Did you really?
Oh, God. So, it's safe to say I'm not going to be Batman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cross one off. There are many others.
I don't know how to do it anyways. There's been so many Batmans. Like, what do you do? Like, I don't know that I would.
Right.
You know what? I don't want to do it anyways. No, I don't. It was never an option. And also, I don't think I would be right for that.
Why? Why?
I think he would be.
I think so,
he
too.
would be good, but that had to hurt, man. Like when he just he just go like.
I think the issue if Chris Pratt was to play Batman, the problem is when he takes off. I think he's built like he's got the muscles.
Sure.
He's probably got the the nice.
And he's got the jawline.
But, you take the mask off. He's too likable of a guy. You'd be like, oh, that's not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne's not a likable guy.
What are you talking about? No, that's just from like the most recent Batman.
I personally think he would have been a good choice maybe in the suit, but outside he is not Bruce Wayne. Chris Pratt does not speak Bruce Wayne.
So your response would have been ha.
Yeah, it would have been ha.
He is in the Ben Affleck zip code in terms of looks.
Yes.
Coming up.
All right, get ready for a new term in fitness, bigorexia. This need to get bigger. A lot of young men are going through this.
It's almost like a driving addiction. Once you start getting big, it's just you're constantly driving to get bigger and bigger.
Be right back.
All right, get ready for a new term in fitness, or some people think it's not necessarily fit. Some people view this as the male version of body dysmorphia. Bigorexia, or some people in gyms call it swolorexia. This driving desire, this need to get bigger. And a lot of young men from 15 through 30 are going through this, where they are spending a lot more time in the gym and they are dedicating themselves not just to being fit, but to being as big as possible. You know anything about this? I know you. You're in the gym every day.
No, I know a lot about this. I'm actually excited to talk to our guest.
All right, well, let's bring him in. Jake Snyder is quite obviously someone who works out a lot, and he is joining us right now from the gym, we will note. Jake, welcome to TMZ Live.
Hello, thanks, guys.
So, I guess we have to start with stats. Height and weight.
I am currently about 205, morning weight fasted, and I'm 5'10".
And what do you want to be?
Well, I'm a classic competitor, so I have a weight cap. I was about 184 at my lowest. So for my weight, the amateur cap's like 195, 196. So I want to fill that out. But I don't want to get too fat, I guess you could say. So just like lean tissue is all I'm focused on putting on. So like maybe 10, 15 pounds of lean tissue.
Can I kind of do a challenge with you for a second?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is this thing with anorexia where somebody loses a little bit of weight and they get a bunch of compliments and people say, wow, that's great. and I'll lose more weight and I'll get more compliments. And they go down that road, and at a point, they don't look as good to the outside world, but they think they do because it's programmed in their head. The more I lose, the
more
better I
compliments.
look. Is it the same principle as you get bigger?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's almost like a driving addiction. Once you start getting big and, you know, you start seeing some muscle all over your body, it's kind of an addiction. So it's just, you're constantly driving and driving to get bigger and bigger. And it's almost like, I don't know, it's like an ego thing for men, I feel like. I don't really care so much about like how big I am. Obviously it's important, but for me, like as you see in that picture, I'm a lot more lean. I don't care about being like 300 pounds or anything like that. But it's definitely like a driving thing for men. It's like an ego thing. I want to be as big as possible.
How did this start, Jake? And at what age did you dedicate yourself to putting on as much muscle mass as possible?
So I was about 16 when I got in the gym. I noticed when about 2 or 3 months of like dedicating just every day going to the gym at that age, I have pretty good genetics. My bench jumped from like 135, which is one plate, to 225 within 3 months. So it was almost like I got hooked right then and there.
Was there more attention? How do I say this? Did you get more dates?
Yeah, I would say so. It's almost like you gain confidence also once you achieve a certain physique look, I guess you could say. So I do have a good amount of confidence just walking around, and that obviously helps with ladies. But there is definitely like a niche group that is into my type of, you know, body.
Well, that's the question,
Yeah.
and that's the question. That's the question.
Yeah.
That when people on the outside, even people in the universe you'd like to date, start
Yeah.
saying, he's too big.
Yeah.
Does that bother you, or is it sort of like, hey, I'll just go with the niche
Go
group
find-
because I like the fact that I'm big, and you don't worry about the fact that there are a lot of people who say, Jake's just way too big.
No, it doesn't really bother me, honestly. At this point, I've accepted it. It's just like my lifestyle. You know, I live, sleep, pretty much just breathe bodybuilding. I got really into it last year, so like at this point in my life, that's all I'm focused on.
Is this all of your? Does it take up all of your social time? Do you have time to socialize? And how? Like I don't know. We didn't even get into what your regimen is. How often are you working out?
That's going to be a long regimen here.
So basically, I do have a little bit of a social life, but it's tough. Me, obviously being a bodybuilder, taking this very seriously, I have plans of going pro this year. So all my focus right now is just into this, really. So if I do leave the house, let's say for 4 to 6 hours, I have to bring like 2 or 3 Tupperwares of food with me. You just have to pack all your meals. I can't really miss any meals. I'm not supposed to be off my plan.
Oh my God.
Almost like every morning I wake up, I get to the gym, I do fasted cardio, you know, I don't eat anything, do 30 minutes of cardio, and then I do a little bit of core training. I'll go back, I get back to my house, I'll have my breakfast, and then before I eat my breakfast, I do my check-ins with my coach, Brandon Mora. He's an IFBB pro.
We're going to have to end at lunch, but you can go to lunch and then we're out of time.
Okay. So I'll do my check-ins, I eat, and then after I have 2 or 3 meals, I head back to the gym and I'll do whatever I'm doing for the day, split-wise.
Okay, it's exhausting. Wow. That's exhausting.
Yeah, it's a full-time job.
Jake, at some point in your life, have a pizza.
Yeah,
I'm
due for one.
Yeah, yes. Have a cheat day, man.
Yeah.
Jake, thanks so much for being with us, man.
Thank you, Jake.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on, guys.
All right, appreciate it.
Coming up.
I'm so angry about this. The LA Times broke a story that the LA Fire Department, which got millions of dollars in donations after the devastating fires last year, spent some of that money very quietly hiring a PR firm.
Be right back.
I'm so angry about this. As a lifelong Angelino, the LA Times broke a story that the LA Fire Department, which got millions of dollars in donations after the devastating fires last year, spent some of that money very quietly hiring a PR firm to reshape its image, which was tarnished in the wake of this devastating fire. As you know, 100 fire trucks sat in a yard. There was no water in some of the hydrants. It was a mess, and there was a huge breakdown in leadership. And the idea that money that people gave to somehow rebuild the communities and to reshape the fire department in terms of resources gets spent on image control.
It is
outrageous.
But it is outrageous. You are correct. But it is also a very LA or Hollywood response to a crisis. And you're right. What you would prefer they sink the money into is the infrastructure and the things that were screwed up that led to the fires.
Show us that you've improved. And by the way, a lot of this is no shade on the firefighters because they did just, and I have friends who were firefighters and they're still suffering all sorts of problems as a result of this. They did a superhuman job. They were, and not only did superhuman job, they had to deal with all the failures institutionally.
Right. We're talking about the brass.
They are unbelievable. But for the brass to do that is, it's just so insulting.
You would hope that after such a tragedy, after such a crisis, that there would be a more thought-out response than just what feels like the knee-jerk Hollywood reaction, which is, let's get a crisis PR team on this. Let's work on our image.
Hi, Harvey and Chip. It's Gabriela from California. And I have to agree, when the disaster donations are for training or to provide equipment and then later used to hire a PR firm, it definitely creates trust issues with the public.
It does indeed.
It makes it harder to raise money when you have actual tragedies where you need those funds.
Absolutely.
The next time, people are going to go, what are you doing with the money?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Coming up.
Well, Harry Styles is back. We told you he announced his tour for 2026. His new song, Aperture, dropped. And he is now talking about the time he had before he was making all this music.
He
took a year off.
A year off. And he traveled the world, and there's something that happened that's we kind of knew, but we didn't know the story behind it.
We didn't know the full story.
Be right back.
Well, Harry Styles is back. We told you he announced his tour for 2026. His new song, Aperture, dropped. And he is now talking about the time he had before.
He traveled the world, and there's something that happened that's we kind of knew, but we didn't know the story behind it.
We didn't know the full story. Yeah. Here's what he told BBC Radio 1.
Watched the new Pope being announced at St. Peter's Basilica in Rome.
Yeah.
Nice experience? Lovely time?
Yeah, it happened, I was getting a haircut in Rome. And
long way to go for it.
And then I just heard all these people start shouting. We finished up. And then I was like, oh, I'm like 5 minutes walk from
nice hit from history. Yeah.
So I walked over there.
What a great story.
Haircut.
He's getting a haircut at some random place, presumably
I wish
in
the hat
Rome.
was off.
I know. I wanted to see what the haircut was like because the barber wanted to get over to Vatican Square, so he quickly finished.
You know, the barber's
that's
like,
why.
whatever.
That's why he has the hat on. Have a good weekend.